Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to level up your restaurant English. The whole point here is to take you from feeling just a little bit nervous to feeling totally confident every single time you dine out. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling when you get a little anxious ordering food in English? Yeah, if you've ever felt that, you are definitely not alone. It's super common, but we can fix it. And all it takes is a few key phrases to feel totally in control.
So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through the whole dining experience step by step. We'll start before you even get there. We'll talk about ordering, what to do during the meal, how to pay, and then we'll wrap up with a review of all your new power phrases.
All right, first up, what happens before you even walk through the door? Making a reservation and arriving smoothly really sets a great tone for the entire meal.
Okay, let's look at this. You could say, I want a table, but it's a little blunt, right? The level up phrase, I'd like to book a table for 4 for tomorrow evening around 7:30, is just so much better. It's polite, and it gives them all the info they need in one go. Much more natural.
So now you're at the restaurant. Instead of just reservation for Leo, a much smoother, more complete way to say it is, yes, we have a reservation under the name Leo. That little phrase, under the name, is what native speakers use all the time.
And here's a great little tip for making a special request. Let's say you want a better table, maybe one by the window or in a quieter spot. Starting your question with, would it be possible to, is the perfect, polite way to ask.
Okay, now for the main event, ordering your food. This is where you really want to be clear and confident so you get a delicious meal that you're actually going to love. Sometimes you look at a menu and see words that are kind of confusing. Things like seared, braised, or poached. Knowing what these mean really helps you picture how the food is cooked. For example, if you see braised meat, you know it's going to be incredibly soft and tender.
Oh, this is one of my absolute favorite phrases. You're looking at the menu and you just can't decide. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Saying, I'm torn between, is the perfect way to tell your server you need a recommendation.
Let's say a dish comes with potatoes, but you'd really rather have a salad. Instead of saying, I want to change this, which is okay, a much better word to use is substitute. Asking, can I substitute the potatoes for a salad, is so much more precise and polite. Here's another super useful one. If you're like me and you want to control how much dressing is on your salad, just ask for it on the side. It's that simple. They'll bring it in a little cup, and you can add as much or as little as you want.
Okay, listen up because this one is really important. If you have any allergies or dietary needs, you need to be super clear. Use direct language like, I have a severe nut allergy, and then politely ask them to check with the kitchen. Your safety always comes first.
All right, the food is here, and hopefully it's absolutely perfect. But what if it's not? Let's talk about some phrases for handling any little problems that might pop up.
This right here, this is your magic phrase for getting the server's attention without being rude. Starting with excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, just instantly makes the whole conversation easier and more polite.
It's actually a really simple two-step process. First, you get their attention politely. Excuse me. And then, you just state the problem clearly and calmly. For example, I ordered this steak medium rare, and this seems to be well done. You're not complaining, you're just explaining. It's effective and respectful.
Of course, you might need other things during the meal, right? Like extra napkins. And here is a fantastic word, topping off. It just means to refill your drink. So instead of just saying, more water, asking, would you mind topping off our water? Sounds so natural.
All right, we've had a great meal, we're full, we're happy, and now it's time for the final step, paying the bill. Let's make sure we handle this part like a pro, too.
So here's a little cultural tip. In a lot of places, the waiter won't bring the bill until you ask for it. They don't want to rush you. Just shouting, bill please, can sound a bit abrupt. A much nicer way to ask is, could we have the bill when you have a chance?
So you get the bill, and you might see this word on it, gratuity. Don't worry, it's just a fancier word for a tip. And in countries like the US and Canada, tipping is a really important part of the dining culture.
The big question, right? How much should you tip? Well, in the United States, the standard for good service is usually somewhere between 18 and 20% of the bill.
Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground today. So before we wrap up, let's do a quick review of the absolute best phrases we've learned to help you sound confident.
Think of this as your personal cheat sheet. Keep these in your back pocket. For booking, I'd like to book a table under the name. For advice, what would you recommend? To change an item, can I substitute? And to politely correct an order, I'm sorry to bother you. And if you've got leftovers, could you wrap this up for me? Seriously, these are total game changers.
All right, now it's your turn to think about this. What's one dish you would absolutely love to order using these new skills? Because remember, the best way to get confident is to get out there and practice. Thanks so much for joining me, and happy dining!